Right, today we're going to look at a little exercise called distraction, mark and treat. And this is an exercise or a game that's really helpful when your dog reacts to certain things in the environment. So a reactivity isn't necessarily an aggressive reaction. It can be just your dog reacting in a certain way to something in the environment that either troubles them, makes them anxious, a little bit fearful, it might make them a little bit angry, but essentially there's some reaction to the thing in the environment. It might also be excitability as well, which is very common in adolescent dogs. And what we want to teach our dogs is that they can be calm in the presence of these triggers. Okay, so this is what this exercise is going to be to do. It's going to really help with teaching your dog to be calm in environments that are a little bit difficult for them. The key thing with this exercise is, first of all, you need to train this without the presence of triggers. So some are fairly neutral, so somewhere in your house or your garden is probably a good idea. And then when you do start introducing this into the real world, you must keep a good distance, or a required distance from the trigger, so that your dog can respond to your training. If you're too close and your dog is already over aroused and over threshold and reacting, then it's not going to work. So you've really got to build up the layers gradually. So what we're going to introduce today is a calm marker. So those of you who are familiar with marker training will know that we mark behaviour generally with a verbal marker or a clicker. And that is a cue to the dog, or a signal to the dog, that reward is coming. What the calm marker does in this situation is it marks the moment that your dog has identified the trigger or has noticed the trigger. And it helps them to then disengage from that trigger. So what we're going to do to start with is we're just going to introduce, just like we would a normal marker or clicker, we're going to charge it. We're going to make your dog understand what it means. And whenever we're doing this exercise, we want to make sure that our voice is calm, our body language is calm, and our delivery of the food is quite calm as well. So I'm going to use a calm marker. I'm going to use nice, just because it's a word that I don't generally use with my dogs. And I want that nice to mean it's calm, it's okay, we can walk away, that kind of thing. So all I'm going to do at the minute is I'm just going to say my word, and then I'm going to just calmly deliver Ruby a piece of food. Okay? Nice. 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 What I might do is just add a bit of movement so she can hear the word while we're moving. Nice. 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 You can see that I'm trying to be as calm as possible when I'm saying the word. It's quite mellow, cute. It's not like my normal marker is yes, and I would say it in like a yes. But as you can see this, it's delivered in a calm way. The food is being delivered in a calm way. I'm not throwing the food, I'm not dropping the food, I'm just calmly delivering it to her mouth. Everything about it is calm. So you need to be doing quite a bit of that first. I would say a week's worth of that, like 10 repetitions a day. Nice. Is probably what you need to be doing. Then what you can do is you can introduce kind of a novel thing into the environment. I wouldn't go full on now into the triggers, whatever triggers your dog to get overexcited, over aroused. I would work on just something novel in the environment. Now we're going to use a cone. It's probably not going to be that novel, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the cone in the middle of the field, and then when Ruby looks at it, I'm just going to deliver my calm marker. So we're going to walk towards it. Nice. Yeah, she's going to go on nose target it, because that's kind of her go-to behaviour. Nice. Lovely. So you see how she disengaged there from the cone. I know the cone is not that, it's not that exciting, but we're just practicing the behaviour and what's required. Nice. So she looked at the cone, I said my nice, she disengaged, she got food. So the marker in this sense, good girl, is not marking a behaviour as such. It's marking the moment your dog identifies the trigger or looks at the trigger. But because of the way the marker has been introduced, it signals for the dog that it's fine and you can look at me. So it's very similar to, there's another technique called look at that, look at me, which is where you're exactly the same sort of thing, where you teach the dog to look at their trigger and then look away and look at you. So it's a very similar thing, but it can really help with situations where your dog reacts to certain things in the environment, whether it's another dog or a person or cars or sheep or cows or anything, where your dog just gets over aroused and overexcited. This is a great exercise for them. So have a little go at this. Practice at home first. It's so important to get that practice in at home. Then introduce a novel item. Then start doing it in the real world, but at a really big distance. So almost like the trigger is such a distance that they hardly notice it. That's where you've got to start, and then you gradually decrease that distance. So have a little go and let us know how you get on.